Today we're going to make a paper sculpture of one of my favorite Dr. Seuss characters, Horton. But first, let's look at the art of Dr. Seuss as we listen to his story, Horton Hears a Who.
On the 15th of May, in the heat of the day, splashing, enjoying the jungle's great joys, Horton the elephant heard a small noise. He looked toward the sound.
There's no one around. I heard a faint yelp, like someone calling for help. I'll help you,
said Horton.
But who are you? Where?
He looked and he looked. He could see nothing there, but a small speck of dust blowing through the air.
I've never heard tell of a small speck of dust able to yell. Why, I think that there must be something on top of that small speck of dust. A creature of very small size, too small to be seen by an elephant's eyes. I'll just have to save him, because after all, a person's a person no matter how small.
Using the greatest of care, stretching his trunk through the air, he lifted the dust speck and carried it over, placing it down safe on a very soft clover.
Humph!
Humphed a voice. 'Twas a sour kangaroo, and the young kangaroo in her pouch said, "Ha, too."
A person on that? Why, there never has been.
Believe me,
said Horton.
I tell you sincerely, I heard him quite clearly. I know there's a person down there. What's more, quite likely there may even be four. Maybe a family for all that I know, with tiny children starting to grow. Please, as a big favor to me, don't disturb them, just let them be.
I think you're a fool,
laughed the sour kangaroo, and the young kangaroo agreed, saying,
"Me too."
They plunged into the pool with great splashing, and Horton the elephant came dashing.
I can't let these small persons be drowned,
he said with a frown.
I've got to protect them. I'm bigger than they.
So he plucked up the clover and hustled away. Then Horton stopped walking. The speck started talking. He could barely hear it. Then he put his ear near it.
"My friend,"
came the voice.
"You're a very fine friend. You've helped all us folks on this dust speck no end. You've saved all our houses, our ceiling and floors. You've saved all our churches and grocery stores."
You mean
Horton gasped.
You have buildings there too?
"Oh, yes,"
piped the voice.
"we most certainly do. I know,"
called the voice.
"I'm too small to be seen, but I'm mayor of a town that is friendly and clean. Our buildings to you would seem terribly small, but to us who aren't big, they are wonderfully tall. My town is called Whoville, and I am a Who, and we Whos are thankful and grateful to you."
And Horton called back to the mayor of the town.
You're safe now, don't worry. I won't let you down. After all, because a person's a person no matter how small.
You've run wild and insisted on chatting with persons who've never existed. I'm here to state,
snapped the big kangaroo,
that your silly game is totally through.
And the young kangaroo joined in.
"Me too."
With the Wickersham who I've engaged, you're going to be roped and you're going to be caged. As for your dust speck, that we shall boil in a hot steaming kettle of hazelnut oil.
Boil it?
Gasped Horton.
Oh, that you can't do. It's all full of persons. They'll prove it to you. Mr. Mayor, you must prove you were there. Get every Who out to holler and shout. If you don't, every Who will end up in stew.
Down on the dust speck, the scared little mayor called a great meeting in Whoville Town Square, and his people cried loudly. They cried out in fear.
"We're here, we're here, we're here, we're here."
The elephant smiled.
That was clear as a bell. You kangaroos heard that very well.
We heard no small voices, and you didn't either.
And the young kangaroo in her pouch said,
"Me neither."
Grab him!
They shouted.
Cage the big dope. Wrap him up with miles of rope. Don't let him loose. Dunk that speck in hazelnut juice.
Horton fought back with vigor and vim, but the Wickersham gang was too many for him. To the mayor he called.
Don't give up. I believe in you all. A person's a person no matter how small. You very small persons will not have to die if you make yourselves heard. So come on and try.
The mayor grabbed the tom-tom. He started to smack it. And all over Whoville they whooped up a racket. It rang through the air and shook the whole sky. And the mayor called through the hula balloon.
"Horton, is our sound coming through?"
Horton called back.
I hear you fine, but the kangaroo's ears aren't strong like mine. Are you sure every Who down in Whoville is working? Quick, look, is anyone shirking?
Through the town rushed the mayor from the east to the west, but everyone seemed to be doing his best. But it wasn't enough. All this ruckus and roar, he had to find someone to help him make more. Just as he felt he was getting nowhere, almost about to give up in despair, he burst through a door, and that mare discovered a shirker hidden away in Fairfax Apartments, apartment 12J, a very small shirker named Jojo, just standing and bouncing a yo-yo, not making a sound, not a yip, not a chirp. The mare rushed inside and grabbed the young twerp. He climbed with the lad up the Eiffelberg Tower.
This
Cried the mare.
is your town's darkest hour, the time for all who have blood that is red to come to the aid of their country.
He said.
We've got to make noise in greater amounts, so open your mouth, lad, for every voice counts.
When they got to the top, the lad cleared his voice and he shouted out. And that yop, that one small extra yop put it over. From that speck on that clover, their voices were heard. They rang out clean. Horton smiled.
Do you see what I mean? They've proved they are persons, no matter how small, and their whole world was saved by the smallest of all.
How true! Yes, how true!
Said the big kangaroo.
And from now on, you know what I'm planning to do? From now on, I'm going to protect them with you.
And the young kangaroo said.
Me too!
The end.
Now that we heard the story of Horton, let's make our own Horton sculpture. What you need today is your Related Arts packet and a piece of either white paper or blue construction paper. And inside this packet, there is, after our president picture, a Dr. Seuss picture. The Dr. Seuss picture has all different characters of Dr. Seuss. I included this for just fun, as well as this coloring sheet of the Cat in the Hat, Dr. Seuss's most famous character. Today, we're going to make the character from the story, Horton Hears a Who. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pull out this paper with the two Hortons. If for some reason you don't have this packet, you could just do your best job to draw Horton's head. And then we just need another piece of paper, either blue construction paper, gray construction paper would work, or even white paper that you color blue or gray. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a little sculpture of Horton. So we're gonna use the head, and then we're going to cut and fold this, curl it into a cylinder. So you're going to take, if you're gonna use blue paper, a blue crayon and color Horton lightly. If you're gonna use gray, you're gonna take a black crayon or a gray crayon and color Horton lightly. And you're just gonna do your nice, neat coloring and go around the outside. And then around the eyes. Then up and down, up and down, up and down. One step, up and down, up and down, up and down. Two steps, up and down, up and down. Three steps, up and down, up and down. Four steps, up and down, up and down. Five steps. Up and down, up and down. 6 steps. 7, 8. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut this out. So this is a drawing, it's flat. And now we're gonna cut and glue to make it a sculpture, a paper sculpture. A sculpture is something that's 3D. When you cut 2 fingers in the big hole, 1 thumb in the little hole, bring the paper to you and open and shut. Be very careful and cut out the center. And then I'm gonna fold, put that off to the side, take my paper, I'm gonna fold it in half. tall like a building, a hot dog fold, right? A hot dog would fit so good in this, not a hamburger fold. And then I'm gonna cut on this line. Now I'm gonna take these 2D flat pieces of paper, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just curl it over on itself to make a cylinder. A cylinder is a 3D shape. I'm just gonna do rub-a-dub-dub, glue right on that line, and again, I'm gonna curl it and hold it down, and I'm gonna count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I have a cylinder that stands up. Now what I want to do is I want to glue Horton's head. This will be Horton's body, and his head is going to be on the top. So I'm going to go around the outside. And a squiggle in the middle. And I'm just going to put Horton's head on the top of that cylinder. And I have a Horton sculpture. But Horton's missing something. He's missing that flower with the little speck. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some of my paper that's left over. And I'm just gonna pick a pinkish purple color. And I'm gonna do a circle around. And then I'm gonna do zigzaggy lines going all around my circle. And zigzaggy lines on the inside of my circle. And then I'm gonna do a line of green for the stem. I'm gonna do 3 or 4 lines next to each other for the stem. And then I'm gonna do a circle on there to show that the little speck is there. And I'm going to cut it out. And I'm going to glue that near my Horton trunk. And that's it. I took my flat 2D Horton and piece of paper and I made it a 3D sculpture that stands up. Now it's your turn to work. I can't wait to see what you make.